Hi friends, it's been a while since doing a Facebook Live, but wanting to continually try to make a committed effort to share this practice of mindfulness with you, and for anyone who's interested in learning more about this practice. I come to the world of mindfulness from a yoga background and standpoint, where I've been with yoga. This practice has allowed me to learn how to focus and be in the body and have a much deeper connection to who I am as a person, in terms of just my own self-growth, spiritual growth, and being able to find a practice that allows me to feel a little bit more at home in my body, in my mind, and in my heart. And so I come to mindfulness from this place of an understanding of yoga, which is its own practice in itself. Many of you watching are like, yeah, yoga, shmoga, whatever. There's no way, it's not my jam. No problem. Mindfulness is a practice that helps in any facet of your life. If you are an athlete, if you are, regardless of whatever you do physically to take care of yourself, but in the business world, if you are a student or a child or a physician, this is anything. If you're a grandparent, if you're a human being, mindfulness is a practice that helps us pay attention to the present moment, just as it is, without judgment, and from a place of true curiosity. Because the labels aside of what we come from and where we are, where we've been, and what we believe, we get lost in the fog of that. So coming home to mindfulness helps us come home to ourselves and to our hearts. And so I want to use this activity of the glitter jar to demonstrate what mindfulness is all about. And I wrote in the caption that you'll see here on the Facebook Live post an activity of how to do this glitter jar activity. And I'll talk at the end of how you make this glitter jar. But I am an educator, and I use this activity oftentimes with students of all ages to help kind of make sense of what this practice is. How do I settle a mind that is extremely busy with over 70,000 thoughts in a day? So we take this jar, and this jar, as you can see here, hopefully, get up nice and close. It's, there's a mason jar, and a jar represents our mind. And there's all these speckles of glitter at the very bottom. And when you can see the jar, just as it is, right? It's clear, there's a lot of space. And so the mind is the shell, and the glitter are all the speckles of thoughts and feelings and emotions. Well, every day we go through this life, and we have conditions in life that create stress, and this is what happens. Our worlds get rattled and shook, and we get lost in these thoughts. We absorb them, and it's a constant swirl when we keep thinking about thoughts. There's a physical reaction that happens in the body. We go in defense mode. We don't see clearly. We can't access the higher part of our brain that helps us to make rational decisions. We react from a place of fear and judgment versus being able to respond from a place of your heart and clarity. However, when the jar or the mind, these speckles of glitter start to settle, we can there's a little bit of space that happens. Right? We start to find a little bit more clarity and space to settle down and settle into our body, and just watch the speckles kind of drift and float eventually down towards the bottom. And so this activity is something that I choose to practice often for helping people just understand what mindfulness is. And we'll do a practice today, a very short practice of using the glitter jar to help focus our attention on what it feels like to breathe, those sensations that we can stay curious with, and noticing what happens to the state of mind, to the breath, and ultimately, most importantly, of how you physically feel in this process. And there's no right way to do this. We're just here to practice breathing and being and remembering a greater part of ourselves that lives inside. It just isn't always accessed because we get stuck and we get in our own way. And so inviting you to take this time to get into a seat that allows you to be comfortable. And if you like to use the glitter jar, you can shake it up, and just as you shake it, just kind of start breathing if you have one to use, and I'll explain in a moment at the end how we'll use this. But, you just start to notice if you're breathing at all as you watch the glitter. And as you watch the glitter settling, you'll just start to kind of focus breathing in and out of your nose. And just noticing how the glitter will eventually fall down towards the bottom. So if you have the glitter jar, feel free to continue to practice watching. And if you don't, and if you do have the glitter jar, you can set it aside and find this seat, whether you're watching this now or live, or if you choose to watch it later. But closing your eyes, if that's comfortable. If not, just let your eyes stay settled on something that's not moving. But it helps me in my practice when I close my eyes and just allow yourself to settle in here to your body, whatever that means for you. Yet taking a posture of the spine where you can actually feel your shoulders draw down your back so your chest can be open. And noticing if your head is aligned between your shoulder blades with a soft lift of the back of the skull. And just let your hands fall naturally to your legs if you're sitting, or even if you're standing, let them hang at the body's side, being supported. Becoming aware of any thoughts that might be going on through your own mind jar of the mind right now. Any thoughts of the day, planning, to-do lists, appointments, schedules, memories. And just noticing what are those contents of glitter floating. And then just becoming aware of them, not needing to push anything away. Just noticing here if there's any obvious areas of tension or holding in the face. Perhaps inviting some parts of the eyes to soften. Letting go of any holding that might be furrowed at the very center of the brow and between the eyes. Relaxing through your cheeks. Just noticing the feeling of breath that's coming in and out of the tip of the nose. Becoming aware of the contact points of the mouth and lips, if the lips are touching or if they're parted, or if the teeth are connected or separate. Either allowing things to stay exactly as they are or softening into what's here. And let the shoulders just drift down the back as the spine stays tall. And all the while, just keeping your attention focused on breath at the tip of the nose. Perhaps even saying to yourself as the inhale happens, inhale, And as the exhale happens, just saying exhale. Or just breathing in on the inhale. And keeping your focus right here as you breathe out. Noticing when the mind has perhaps drifted away. What did it get caught in? What storm of glitter thoughts? If we've been aware of all of the thoughts or any feelings that showed up. Just noticing what may have interrupted the attention of the mind. And then kindly noticing it and then choosing to come back to this feeling of breathing. Just focusing on how the body moves as you breathe in. And how the body releases and perhaps even softens as you breathe out. Riding this continuous flow of breath in and breath out, just as you are. Inviting the body to be rooted and supported in your seat or as you stand. Just sensing into that solidity of the body as the air moves freely. As if the waves of the ocean continually roll in and onto shore and cast their way back out to the greater depths of the water. And noticing if there's any wrestling with the mind or sense of pressure, trying to do this perfectly or right, or frustration shows up. Just, again, can you be a little bit kinder to yourself and give it a try? Just come back. Just have a playful attitude of just coming back to a practice of coming home. Coming back to your heart. Coming back to this place of care. Just by breathing. As you take your next inhale breath, feeling the wholeness of your body being breathed. The body is this complete whole, right? This whole human organism that we are. From the outermost layers of hair and skin, right, down, going deeper inside the physical body of the muscles, the bones, the ligaments, the tendons, our organs and cells. Right, going into so much greater and deeper into that. There's something more, is this coming greater into our own selves. Either choosing to place a hand on your heart, or even taking your hands together in front of your heart. But most importantly, just feeling this sense of connection to what it means to slow down, to the actual physical and felt sensation of not getting caught in the storm of thought or emotion. And coming into this place, it can help you find some greater alignment, some more clarity, more peace of mind. Most importantly, to serve as a reminder of what it's like to come home to this refuge that we have inside of ourselves, so that we can operate in a clear way, more open-minded, more accepting as we transition into our everyday lives and world. Just doing our part one breath at a time. So let's take a breath in here together and a full breath out. And so honoring you on this humbling journey, just one breath at a time. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open up your eyes and lifting your gaze. So welcome back to being here, present, and encouraging you to try this mindfulness jar activity. So, and what this is, these glitter speckles, this is just regular glitter inside of a mason jar. And oftentimes you can also use glitter glue, and that might be a little bit more, it's a little bit more sticky. And so the regular glitter, as you know, you kind of notice it wasn't super, it settled in pretty quickly. But when you just use the glitter glue, it's a little bit more, it gets a lot thicker. And so you just put a mason jar and some glitter and water and seal it at the top with some Elmer's glue. If you're an educator, this is great to have your students make in their little water bottles. Just a regular plastic water bottle, peel off the label, fill it with water, and everyone can put their own glitter in and practice this with your students. Practice this with yourself, with your family, just like a snow globe, and that's all that this is helping us settle into this space. This is the space that's you. This is the space that the heart lives from. And just remember that it's there, and we can still be rational, we can still be kind, but sometimes we forget how to access this, and it just might take a few breaths, a few dedicated moments for yourself daily to create this practice, something that sticks, something that you can use in all facets of your life, whether you're a yogi or a runner or a weightlifter or a surfer or a walker or a golfer. And if you're not doing any of those activities, for your body in terms of movement, but doing it from a place of intention, a place that really can come from your heart with meaning. So with that, my friends, I hope you have a great mindful moment, a few of them throughout your day today. And let me know if you have any questions down below as whenever you choose to watch this, whether you're live or if you watch this later. And more to come throughout the rest of July, with the intention of doing these posts for the next few Mondays with some just easy peasy tips of mindfulness to help with the practice. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time, friends.